Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the channel. So today we're going to talk about Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I always say that wrong. Doesn't matter how I spell that out. It's spelled Dostoevsky. So Fyodor was a Russian novelist. He was born in, it says October 30th, 1821, and died on January 28th of 1881. So 60 years old. And he has many works that are very highly studied and very well known. And his works talked a lot about what people were feeling and what they were going through during the period of communism's greatest strength and as it was rising to strength. The major works and their characteristics are: he's best known for his Notes, which was a novella, Notes of the Underground, and 4 long novels, which I own these, and they're all exceptional. They're great. Crime and Punishment, The Idiot, The Possessed, which is known more accurately as The Demons and the Devils, and The Brothers Karamazov. Each of these works is famous because of its psychological profundity, and indeed, is common in Dostoevsky is known for his use of psychology from history and literature to basically create an analysis of pathological states of mind that lead to insanity, murder, suicide, and the exploration of emotions of humiliation, self-destruction, tyrannical domination, and murderous rage. Tells you a little bit about communism right there, doesn't it? And it says these major works are also renowned as great novels of ideas and are treated as timeless and timely issues in both philosophy and politics. Psychology and philosophy are closely linked to Dostoevsky's portrayals of intellectuals who feel ideas to the depths of their souls. He has several quotes about that too. And finally, these novels broke new ground with their experiments in literary form. So I'm a fan. What he wrote about had a big impact on what we read today. It had an impact on all literature that came from this. And if you read Fyodor's stuff, if you read his novels, then you may get to the point where you read Solzhenitsyn, which was actually not a novel. He was talking about how he was arrested and put in a gulag. And this was a guy who fought in a Russian war for Russia before that, and then they thought he was a spy later on and put him in a prison. You know, no trial, no rights, none of that, because that's what communism is. And so 19 powerful sentences by Fyodor Dostoevsky that will change your view of the world. Number 1 is, above all, don't lie to yourself. That is a fantastic suggestion. Above all, don't lie to yourself. That's number 1. Number 2 is, your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. That's number 2. Your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. Look, God knew exactly who He's created when He created you, so be who you are and what you were intended to be. 3, man has it all in his hands, and it slips through his fingers from sheer cowardice. Number 4 is, the best way to keep a prisoner from escaping is to make sure he never knows he is in prison. Number 5 is, I gave up caring about anything, and all the problems I had in life disappeared. Number 6 is, tolerance will reach such a level that intelligent people will be banned from thinking so as not to offend the imbeciles. See, guys, nothing new under the sun. It's all been done before. Number 7 is, nothing in this world is harder than speaking the truth. Nothing is easier than flattery. Number 8 is, the mystery of human existence lies not just in staying alive, but in finding something to live for. Number 9 is, you sense that you should be following a different path, a more ambitious one. You felt that you were destined for other things, but you had no idea how to achieve them. And in your misery, you began to hate everything around you. That's number 9. That's pretty miserable. That's pretty miserable. Not only do you hate everything around you, typically you make life miserable for people around you when you're feeling like this. Number 10, man only likes to count his troubles. He doesn't calculate his happiness. That's a fact. People don't focus on what they have. They just focus on what they don't have. 11 is, the cleverest of all, in my opinion, is the man who calls himself a fool at least once a month. Number 12 is the soul is healed by being with children. I do think children's joy, they're very sure in who they are and what they want to be, and there's nothing that's limited in their mind. I think that's what he means by that. 13 is if you want to overcome the world, overcome yourself. 14 is it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. 15 says to go wrong in your own way is better to go right in someone else's. You'll hear that reoccurring issue. Be yourself. Know that that's divine and you should do what God intended you to do, right? 16 says, allow me to give some advice from the heart. There is a single refuge, a single medicine, that is art and creative work. Number 17 says, the darker the night, the brighter the stars, the deeper the grief, the closer to God. Number 18 says, it is better to be unhappy and know the worst than to be happy in a fool's paradise. So be aware of what's going on around you. And number 19 says, but how could you live and have no story to tell? So those are great sentences, great comments from this excellent author. And if you have not read his works, it's worth reading. It'll show you the same thing that the Bible or reading from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations will show you. It'll show you there's nothing new. All the political jargon and nonsense that's going on in the world that you hear every day, and Republicans and Democrats and all these people are throwing back and forth, it was the same in the 1800s. It was the same in the 1700s. It was the same in the 1600s. It's the same garbage that they used against people in societies such as ours. So if you wonder who's at fault or who started all this, it's nothing. It's the human condition. So either you're good or you're evil, right? And I think he had an advanced knowledge of evil because he got to see what his country did to his countrymen, and it was brutal. People that don't understand communism or know how it works, that talk positively about communism, if they read, if they actually studied, if they actually opened their minds to people that lived through it, they may feel a little differently about it. But those people don't read. They like to have their opinion and yell and scream. But some of those works, Crime and Punishment, the Brothers Karamazov, are two of the more famous. White Knights, The Idiots, Notes from the Underground, which is from 1864. All these books were written between 1850, 1848, White Knights, through the late 1860s. And the Brothers Karamazov was 1880. So take a look, read those, give those books a shot, see if you like them, see what you got there. If you start out with Notes from the Underground or the Brothers Karamazov, you might understand what he's saying a little more. Crimes and Punishments, that's a big book, and it does get slow at parts, but the thought process is amazing there, and it does show you that people are holistically repetitive. In different countries that have never met, our lives are holistically repetitive. We go through, just like the Bible says, what one generation will know, the next generation will forget. So that's where we're at, unfortunately. Great suggestions there in the books. Very interesting human being, very interesting character, very interesting, a lot of quotes from him. And it's worth a study from a gentleman from Moscow. This has been, if you like information such as this, please like, please subscribe, please share. And we'll be doing some more around different articles and authors of influence. I think these folks are not studied now in schools. Schools have become pretty useless. They don't study historical figures like they used to. You should, because then you realize your life that you're going through is not so different from someone else's, that there's a lot of redundancies that happen in the human experience. So sometimes reading these authors, those redundancies might make you feel a little bit better about your decision making and where you're at, because you realize it wasn't just you that put you in this place, that this is the human condition. So that's why I think his books specifically are very interesting to read and to study. Please like, please subscribe. Be good.